Birds gave up their fingers for wings. What? Weird statement, right? So just like we've been kind of talking about how in the past, now there are birds, and birds have beaks, and birds have wings. They weren't always birds, and they didn't always have beaks, and they didn't always have wings. Remember, a long time ago, we have this speculated creature here that eventually things in this creature evolved into things that are in birds, and it did not have wings. It had sort of, if you look down here at its feet, finger type things. They don't resemble human fingers, but they do resemble fingers in some way. And did not have a beak, but it does have a thing that resembles a beak in some way. And I don't know if I can find it. At some point, we had this ichthyornis creature that was like sort of in between that thing and a bird. And you'll notice it doesn't exactly have wings or exactly have a beak, but it does have things that are like in between the two, between fingers and wings. You can see it even still has things that look like fingers in its feet if you look at its skeleton, and it's beginning to have a beak. The same thing happened with wings. If you could see today, you're used to seeing wings, but if you could see a bird's skeleton underneath the wings, the bones that make the wings, they actually have the same bones in their wings that you have in your arm and your hands, more or less. This bone called a humerus, if you'll touch it, you have a humerus bone too. It's the bone that runs from your shoulder to your elbow. If you'll even touch that, you have that exact bone running from your shoulder to your elbow, just like a bird does. And then you also have a radius and an ulna. If you'll touch, those are the two bones that run from your elbow to your wrist. If you feel in there carefully, you have one that kind of runs from the outside of your elbow toward your pinky. That's your ulna. And you also have one that runs from the inside of your elbow to your thumb. It's called your radius. There's two bones there. The top of your arm only has one bone. The bottom has two. And then phalanges, you have those too. Those are the bones that run through your hand and into your fingers. If you've never paid attention, you kind of flex your hand upward. You'll notice your fingers keep running down through your hand. They don't stop where you think of your finger stopping. They keep going all the way to your wrist. They're called your phalanges, and birds have those too in their wings. They, in a way, over time, their fingers gradually have changed into fingers that are useful for wings rather than fingers that are useful for what we usually think about fingers being useful. It's pretty cool. They, over time, and time means like a long time, gave up, in a sense, their fingers for wings. So, pretty neat, I think. Cool. We're going to skip that part about teeth. And I want to kind of summarize and get us to one last thing here. So that was a very, 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 very high level video about evolution, even for somebody like me who's learned a lot about it. Like when I see something like this is an expert level video, and I decided to challenge you by starting doing that so that we could talk about evolution from the end first. Like, what's it going to look like when we're really good about talking at this later? So I bet it was a very complicated video for you. And if you don't feel like you fully understand a lot of the things we talked about, I wouldn't expect you to. I wanted to just kind of get you started. What I really hope you take away from this video is this. Evolution helps answer questions like this. Like, what kind of things are we even talking about when we talk about evolution? It answers questions like, why are there birds? There haven't always been birds. At one point there were no birds and there was just things like this. So why are there birds? Why do birds have beaks? Or wings? Why have those beaks changed in size and shape over time? Why have the things that turned into wings turned into wings? And stuff like that. So here's the last thing I want you to do for today. I can't quite finish out this whole lesson like I thought I could, because there's just some stuff. Like you see, there's a big idea coming. I don't want to risk that in a video. I want to make sure we get that. And there's some other things I want us to think about that I just don't think are easy to do in a video by yourself. But here's what I do want you to do so you're ready to do our big thinking whenever all this stuff melts, is this. I want you to invent, so to speak, an animal that doesn't exist. You can give it any features you want. It can be fearsome, it can be cute, it can be functional, it can be strange. You choose. Make sure it has at least 5 identifiable features, like birds have beaks and wings and feathers and whatever. Give your creature at least 5, more is fine, identifiable creatures. You do have a space in your stuff to do that. You are welcome to draw and label the animal. You're also welcome to write a nice, neat paragraph, a well-written paragraph describing the 5 features of the animal if you don't want to draw. It does not matter if the drawing is like, if you're good at drawing. What matters is that you think about the creature more than that you draw it well. So if you want to draw it and it's, that's okay. So I'm going to leave that up to you. And we're going to use this creation to kind of close out some things and use it to work toward this big idea when we get there. So I need you to do that. Have that nice and all done. What I'll expect to see when you get to class Monday is really everything in this Thursday, January 9th should be done up to this drawing. This, of course, no. You should not fill this in. We'll get to this. This is like our kind of like summary when we get there. So get yourself to here, and that's what I want to see. So that should be it. I hope you stay warm. I hope you stay safe. And I hope all this winter weather is fun and great for you. And I will see you, I don't know, whenever it melts. Bye.